Okay, let's kick things off, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm delighted to welcome you to our webinar, Future Proof Your Data Management. We're looking forward this afternoon to sharing with you a demonstration as well as details on our data management delete functionality. Now, I think most of you probably know who I am because we've met at some point. But for those who don't, I'll introduce myself. I'm Leslie Lawrence, the VP of Sales and Business Development here at Portfolio Plus. And joining me on today's webinar and conducting our demo is Teresa Uzlak, who's our product expert on the delete functionality. Now, before we get started in the meat and potatoes of the presentation and demo, I wanted to share a couple of housekeeping items. First, I wanted to let everybody know that we will be allowing time for your questions at the conclusion of today's webinar, and we really do welcome your questions. So if you have any during the demo and presentation, please put them into the Q&A box, which you'll see at the bottom of the screen, and we will get to them at the end. And at the conclusion of today's webinar, I will also be sharing with everybody more information on a special incentive we will be offering for our clients who joined us today. So another great reason to stay till the end of the webinar. So let's kick things off and begin. Before we jump right into the demo and share details on how the product functions, I think it's important we cover off the critical reasons actually why we're here today. And firstly, we all know that in recent years, data privacy has certainly grown in importance for both consumers as well as financial institutions in Canada. And we've all seen and lived through the rapid digitization of services and the increasing amount of personal data that's being collected, stored, and processed, which has amplified the need for stronger privacy protections. And today, consumers expect institutions like yours to not only safeguard their personal data while they're an active client, but also when that relationship with your organization ends. And again, for all of you on the call today, you know this has created a need to manage and securely delete data tied specifically to those closed customer accounts. And the risk of not doing that can lead to certainly potential fines and impact an organization's reputation in what we know today is an extremely competitive financial services landscape. So secondly, let's cover off the really important legislative piece. And I want to touch on two pieces of legislation, Bill C-27, as well as Quebec Law 25. And both of these are setting higher standards for how financial institutions must handle data retention as well as data deletion. So let's touch on Bill C-27 first. And this bill introduces new rights for consumers, new rights such as data portability, which is allowing consumers to transfer their data between organizations as well as enabling the removal of their personal data. So what does this mean for you as an organization? It means transparency requirements for the handling of personal data are changing and they're increasing. Now let's touch on Quebec Law 25. And this is enacted legislation. Bill C-27 was proposed legislation, but Law 25 is enacted legislation which has introduced stringent new laws for data protection, especially around consent. So I want to give you an example. What that means is that it mandates organizations to obtain and have on record explicit consent before they're able to collect, use, or disclose any personal information. And in addition to that, Quebec Law 25 has also introduced new rules around breach notifications. So this requires organizations to promptly report and disclose any privacy breaches that could potentially pose a risk of harm. So as you can see, with Bill C-27 and Quebec Law 25, financial institutions such as yourselves really need robust and automated solutions to manage data throughout its life cycle, from when data is collected, but certainly through the process of when and how data is deleted. So I wanted to share a little background with everybody on Portfolio Plus's data management strategy journey and delete functionality and how we got here today. So based on the compliance and the legislative changes, which I just touched on, we here at Portfolio Plus recognized we had a need to develop and implement a strategy around data privacy and retention to help support our customers, knowing how important this is in today's landscape. And in doing this, we felt it was critical to have the voice of our customers at the table to help us to design and guide this strategy through to product development. So our approach enabling that was that we collaborated with 4 customers, and you'll see the 4 customers' names on the slide today. They include Equitable Bank, Scotiabank, Manulife Bank, and Royal Bank. And we worked with these customers via a special interest group initiative, which we did back in 2023. So based on the feedback that we had from these customers, the first feature they prioritized and we developed under our data management strategy was the delete functionality. Now, we've evolved and we've continued to improve and enhance the features of delete, which Teresa is going to show you in a few minutes in the demo. And that's why we're here today. We wanted to share with you the evolution of the product, as well as articulate how it is fulfilling a critical need. Now, Portfolio Plus is not stopping here. We're going to continue to have a focus on data management, given the importance of this subject. And next on our roadmap, beyond the delete functionality, right now we have the archiving of data, as well as followed by the anonymizing of data as a future opportunity to bring to our valued customers. Okay, so what is the benefit to your organization above and beyond what I've already covered? Why is data management important within your organization? And in other words, what's the business case for you as a financial institution? So I'm going to cover off a few important elements around this. The first one I wanted to highlight was it provides regulatory and compliance for you. So it ensures tasks are being completed in accordance with industry regulations, and you can prove as such. A detailed, a consistent, and an accurate application of data management processes, both for your customers as well as your regulators. And it enhances and supports your current risk mitigation strategies you have within your organization. We all know that automated processes reduce risks due to human error and reduce the potential for data breaches. So it really helps to ensure your data security while also providing you with a critical audit trail. It enhances your operational efficiency. Again, automation is known to improve operational efficiency because it streamlines your processes and it helps you as an organization to really keep pace with the volume of work associated with data changes. And you're more nimble and you're more ready and able to implement more quickly because you have increased operational efficiency through the automation. And finally, it builds trust. All of you on the call today are valued customers or financial institutions. And as financial institutions, you can appreciate certainly the importance of a specific, a transparent data management strategy and process. It is a fundamental expectation today of consumers, of stakeholders, as well as of regulators. Now, I hope we're getting some questions popping into the chat because we're looking forward to those at the end. So I encourage you to put more questions in, especially as we come forward. And I invite Teresa to share with you more details on the functionality of our Portfolio Plus Delete feature. So Teresa, I'm going to pass things over to you at this point.
Thanks, Leslie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. So one moment. Okay, there we go. So I'm excited to introduce our new delete functionality within the data management module. Data management is a top priority for all of our clients, and we've listened to user feedback to build additional customizable options in Portfolio Plus to help meet regulatory requirements, manage client data effectively, and increase automation, thereby reducing the risk of human error. So this feature allows you to remove years of closed account and associated individual and firm client data from Portfolio Plus databases. This does help financial institutions comply with data retention practices and regulations. In today's demonstration, I'll illustrate how the delete functionality operates in retail. However, the steps and options are similar across the other modules, including terms, investments, lending, and client management. So I've already logged into Portfolio Plus with my user credentials. Permissions are based on menu access. So for instance, if an administrative compliance officer is the only individual authorized to use the new data management functionality, then this menu would be available only to that dedicated user. My user is set up as a super user, which gives me full access to all the features within Portfolio Plus, including the new data management module. Before diving into the new module, I did want to highlight that we've introduced the option to exclude accounts and client KIFs from the delete run to handle any of those exceptions. So we've added a new data management button to the existing screens for retail, terms, lending, investments, and client management. For today's demonstration, I'm going to select retail and navigate to maintain accounts. I can simply enter the account number that I choose to exclude. And you'll see that this new data management button has been added at the very top here. So once selected, I can simply enter yes and F9, which gives me a list of all the active exclude reasons specified for retail. We have added the option to define whether a supervisor is required when excluding an account from the delete run. This does provide additional control, ensuring that any exclusions are reviewed and authorized as needed. An audit record is automatically logged whenever exclude values are updated. This does ensure full transparency and traceability of any changes. Okay, so I'm just going to navigate back to the main landing page. So the administrator with access also has the option to manage the exclude reasons. So I'm just going to select that option. The exclude reasons are available by company and module. So currently you'll see that I've got two records here, both are active. The first reason code is available for retail, where the second is available across all modules. This setup again is user defined, and any changes made are also captured in an audit. I'm going to navigate back to the landing page. So the user can delete closed accounts and KIFs for client management, investments, lending, retail, and term deposits. So as you can see, a separate menu is available. Each option has its own criteria screen and rules specific to that module. For today's demonstration, I will be selecting retail. And you'll see right away that I'm presented with this important information screen. The screen was designed to remind users to exercise caution, as this process will delete data from the database. So next, the delete retail account screen is displayed. Accounts are deleted according to the criteria entered by the user. So for today, I'm going to input some data and then I'll speak to the screen. Okay. So the delete criteria screen provides several options, including the ability to run the process for a specific range of closed accounts and dates, or by utilizing an already generated proposal. In this example, I'm running a proposal. You'll notice that fields are enabled based on my selection to prevent any potential errors. By selecting proposal, I'm taken directly to the date range fields where I can choose to either enter one account or a range of accounts. When entering a range of accounts, only closed accounts meeting the criteria within this range are included. After entering the date and period, you'll notice here that options is available to me. This does give me the ability to pick and choose what I would like included in the run. So for retail, for instance, I can choose to include accounts with outstanding checks or accounts held in an investment plan. Generating the proposal report first provides the opportunity to review the closed accounts and correct any errors before proceeding with a delete run, which we always recommend. So as you can see, this feature enhances flexibility by providing multiple customizable options. It's only enabling you to tailor the process to meet your business need. When the process is run in either proposal or run mode, two outputs are generated, a text report and a CSV file. This process can be run manually from the application or scheduled for automated processing. If you give me a moment, I'm just going to bring up an example. So here's an example of the CSV file. As you can see, the data is organized in a comma-separated format. This file can be opened in Excel, allowing our users to sort or filter the information as needed. Here's an example of the retail closed account report. So in the top section, you'll see that one closed account is included based on the criterion range that I had selected. The proposal report automatically also generates a unique proposal number, which can be used for the delete run if that option is selected. The report does provide details such as the selected options, KIF number, account number, open date, and close date. Any errors, excluded accounts, and any total number of records are displayed in the respective sections for review. So that does conclude today's demonstration. I'm now going to pass it back to Leslie.
Thank you, Teresa, very much for showing us the demo. And just to recap a couple of things Teresa mentioned in the demo, you saw today how the data management delete feature really has a number of important elements. And what are they? They include the ability to emphasize control, customization, and protection by allowing exceptions for critical records, and also by providing advisory warnings and offering, as Teresa mentioned, customizable deletion criteria. Also, by generating proposals before deletion, it ensures data accuracy, data integrity, and compliance, which aligns your financial institution's privacy policy with the evolving legislation that I mentioned earlier. So I would say in 4 short words, delete functionality helps you to simplify, automate, and reduce risk. So you're able to configure your system appropriately to meet local and federal laws. But most importantly, and I think this is critical, would take away from today, is it addresses the needs of all key stakeholders, and it really ensures data security and compliance for regulators while protecting consumer privacy by managing your data effectively as well as efficiently. Okay, so before we jump into the Q&A session, and again, please continue if you have any questions to put them in the chat. We'll be getting to those shortly. I promised at the beginning of today's webinar that I would share with you details on a special incentive for those who attended today and gave us 30 minutes of your valuable time. Because at Portfolio Plus, we feel very strongly about supporting our clients. And in light of the value our special interest group members found with the delete functionality in their business, and you can see based on the quote they provided to us, which we're showing on the slide, we wanted to offer an incentive in the month of September for all our valued clients who attended today's webinar. So you're saying, Leslie, get to the point and tell me more about this. So I'm going to do that now. we will be offering discounted pricing on both our license as well as our service costs for all clients interested in adding the Delete product to their upcoming upgrade projects. Now, before you put lots of questions for me in the chat on the particulars, I think the approach we're going to take is your senior sales account managers, Pat Casulo and Sue Bartlett, who are on the call with us today, will actually reach out and provide each of you with more details on how to take advantage of this opportunity and certainly how it relates to your organization. Okay, so let's jump in to your questions. And I'm going to pull those up in the chat, and Teresa and I are going to do our best to answer your questions. And any ones we can't answer, we'll let you know and we'll get back to you post this webinar today. Okay, Teresa, first question is, are the Delete screens the same for terms, client management, investments, and lending? And the question was same criteria.
Okay, great question. So yeah, so the criteria screens aren't exactly identical, though they are very similar. Each module has its own set of rules for closed accounts. So some modules do offer additional options. I'll give an example. For instance, for lending, you can choose to include specific statuses. So for lending, there's a 9, a 14, and a 20. You can pick and choose what you would want configured in each run.
Okay, thank you. Another question we have is it possible to run a delete data process for a big batch of closed accounts?
Yeah, definitely. So as I showed in the demo, you do have the ability to define the date and the range. We do, however, recommend that you do run in smaller, more manageable ranges for better control. But again, we are always here to support. So if you have any questions or need some recommendations, we're here to support you in any way.
Great, thank you. Yes, because that can really depend on what your definition of a big batch of closed accounts, and it can be relevant depending on the size of the customer. So again, we're happy to work with you and give any advice and consultation around that on an individual organizational basis.
That's right.
Next question. Can we schedule the delete jobs to run in the background queue? If so, is this a set job or something we would decide what the criteria would be?
Yeah, so definitely both the proposal and the run jobs can be scheduled in the background queue for automated processing. This would be similar for any of the jobs that you're currently setting up for automated processing. We do already have our clients who are using this product who do have those jobs scheduled. And like all other jobs, this can be completely configured based on your business needs. So you can define the date and the time and the parameters for each run. So that's available. I'll give an example. You may decide that you want to run your proposal every month, and then your run job is maybe a yearly job. So again, completely configurable and manageable by the user.
Okay, and that's a good example, Teresa, because I think, again, it emphasizes the flexibility that this product has provided to our existing special interest group members, but also could be availed of other customers that were to move forward with it.
Definitely.
Okay, I think that at this point is the amount of the 3 had questions. So I think that's I'm just looking to see if any other questions pop in. No, at this stage, we don't have any other questions. So I think I will just move on to conclude things today. So thank you to everyone for joining us and for the excellent questions. Very much appreciated your engagement this afternoon. I would like to give a special shout out to my colleague Teresa for joining me today and walking us through the demo. Thank you very much, Teresa.
Thanks, Leslie.
And as I mentioned before the questions, Pat and Sue will reach out to everybody on the call to provide you with more details on the pricing incentive I talked about. And they're also available to answer any additional questions you might have on Portfolio Plus's overall data management strategy, or certainly the delete functionality. So thank you again for giving us 30 minutes of your valuable time today. I hope you found today's webinar informative and useful. We look forward to carrying on the discussion around how we can support you with Delete or any other products and services. and want to wish you a great remainder of your day. Thank you very much.